about Caitlin is that she never was bigger than the program. I don't know if that makes sense, but like, it wasn't like she wasn't trying to take over. It wasn't, I don't know how to explain that. You know what I'm trying to say though?
Yeah, no, I know what you're trying to say. It's like, she knows who she is. She comes in, she's gonna obviously do her part because that's what being a professional athlete is, but.
Kelsey Mitchell just went off, but not in the way most folks expected. When she sat down with Sue Bird, she really laid out her honest feelings about playing with Caitlin Clark. She didn't hold anything back, which was awesome to hear. But here's what's crazy. The internet took those honest thoughts and twisted them in every single direction. It makes you wonder, do Kelsey and Caitlin actually fit well together on the court? Or are they just surviving because the coaching isn't great? The thing is, everyone's constantly talking about chemistry and fit, but nobody wants to admit the obvious. Kelsey Mitchell and Caitlin Clark have been the best backcourt in the WNBA for 2 seasons straight. That's just a fact. No debate needed.
With the understanding of fitting into a team, making sure we fit, making sure we have chemistry. So it's never bigger than like the group
it's like
itself.
She wasn't trying to be bigger than everybody. Like within our locker room, she wasn't trying to be bigger than anyone else. And I think the way that her style of play, it ended up complimenting me, ended up complimenting AB. And so like.
Look, people try to bring up other duos like Courtney Williams and Kalani Brown, but come on, they're not even in the same league. Caitlin and Kelsey don't just play off each other, they own the floor when they're out there. When they really click, defenses look completely lost. But apparently being the best isn't enough for some people, because every single time something goes wrong, someone has to make it personal. Suddenly, it's not about the system, and it's not about the coaching. It turns into Kelsey doesn't like Caitlin, or Caitlin's taking all the shine. Honestly, it's just lazy. It's messy. And it completely misses the actual point of what's happening.
We all have our different styles of way of playing it, but the passion for it with Caitlin, when she didn't play compared to when she did play, remained the same. And like, I respected that about her because it could have easily not been that way. You have people that come in and not want to do or buy in once it's not, or once it don't go their way, or once unfortunate things happen and you can't play and injury happens and you're not getting your body the way you want to. And so I can respect the fact that she kept the program, and she didn't let her passion for it waver because she ended up pouring in more than she thought. And it was dope because she could have easily not been that person.
Kelsey made it super clear in this new interview. There's absolutely no drama between them. None. In fact, she actually praised Caitlin for how she's handled her fame, saying Caitlin never tried to act bigger than the program. That's a huge statement, especially coming from someone as competitive as Kelsey. And get this, here's the part that people totally skipped over. Kelsey said she talked directly to the Fever organization about how they failed to prepare for Caitlin Clark's arrival. Think about that for a second. They had a full 5 months to plan for the biggest college star in years, and somehow they still acted totally surprised when she showed up. That's not a player problem. That's a management disaster. Kelsey basically said the entire team wasn't ready, whether it was on or off the floor. Not the locker room, not the coaching staff, not even the front office. Everything was pure chaos from day one. That wasn't her throwing shade. That was her telling the truth. But you know how people online are. The second a player speaks honestly, it instantly gets twisted into some made-up beef.
I hear you. Yeah, I would build on what I was saying and add, from what I'm hearing from you, is like, she was like that way in the locker room too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like it was like she wasn't trying to like, you could easily be a certain way, and her thing was just like giving her best. Like she gave us like her best when she was in the locker room.
It's ridiculous, she could say. Caitlin is a great teammate, and someone on Twitter would twist it into, she said she's just a teammate, not a friend. That's exactly the kind of nonsense that fuels these fake rivalries we see. But the way Kelsey handled herself here, total respect. She gave Caitlin so much credit for being grounded, professional, and actually buying into the team, even when the system itself made absolutely no sense. Because let's be honest, that system really doesn't make any sense. Steph White, the head coach, keeps forcing Kelsey to play like a primary ball handler, and that's just not her game. Kelsey is a scorer. She always has been. On the ball, off the ball, in transition, ISO, spot up, she can fill it up from anywhere on the court, but she's not the one who should be running the offense. That's Caitlyn's job, period. Caitlyn is a pure floor general. She makes everyone around her better when the ball runs through her hands. But Steph White keeps trying to split that role, like she's experimenting on some science project. And then people wonder why the Fever offense looks broken half the time. That's why Kelsey's comments hit harder than people realize. She wasn't complaining. She was pointing out a coaching flaw that literally everyone can see, but no one wants to say out loud. She quite literally said the whole organization needed to adjust. On the floor, off the floor, in the training room, everywhere. That's her way of saying, this mess isn't on the players, it's on the people in charge. And honestly, she's absolutely right.
Yeah, the time I've spent with Caitlyn, like, she definitely has, like, oh, you're like my little sister.
Yes.
Because she likes to, like, you know, talk about basketball and kind of troll a little bit. Yeah,
goodness.
Exactly.
You talk about a kid in the candy store, that's Caitlyn.
Yeah.
Tutu, she is, but in a good way. She's a live light. And she.
Let's be real for a second. Caitlin Clark didn't get a fair rookie season. She was dealing with injuries for most of it, and when she was playing, she was surrounded by total chaos. The rotations were off, the offense was inconsistent, and the media was treating every single missed shot like breaking news. Yet somehow, she still produced incredible numbers. And Kelsey? She just kept grinding. No excuse, she showed up every night, carried the offense when she needed to, and played through it all. So when Kelsey said, Caitlyn was never bigger than the program, that's actually one of the highest compliments she could have given her. Because it means Clark never let her massive fame ruin the locker room energy. She didn't isolate herself, and she didn't make it all about her. And you can tell that's genuine respect from Kelsey, not just some PR talk. Sue Bird even noticed how calm and real Kelsey was about it. Sue said it best, Kelsey wasn't even asked about Caitlin Clark, but she brought her up anyway, and in a really positive way. That's not shade, that's loyalty. Now, of course, people online love to act like the Fever's fit is completely doomed. That's where the sarcasm comes in. Because apparently, fans on the internet know better than the players themselves. The funniest part, these two actually like each other. They've said it repeatedly, but people who don't understand ball keep trying to create fake drama. Here's the truth, Kelsey and Caitlyn absolutely can fit together. They've already shown it, but they need the right system. And right now, that's just not Steph White's system. Remember that late stretch last season, when they actually coached themselves? You know, when they stopped listening to Christy Sides. They went on that 10-game run where everything just clicked. They were moving, spacing, reading each other perfectly. It worked. That wasn't luck. That was what happens when you let smart players run their own show. The problem now is that Kelsey's role keeps switching constantly. One game she's the lead scorer, the next she's deferring, then suddenly she's running play. You can't expect chemistry when the system changes every single quarter. Kelsey's not the problem. Caitlyn's not the problem. The system is, and Kelsey is smart enough to know that. That's why she said it so carefully. She didn't call anyone out by name, but everyone knew exactly who she was talking about. It's not Caitlyn. It's not the locker room. It's the coaching staff and the front office that didn't build around them properly. But Kelsey's too professional to turn it into a circuit. She just dropped her thoughts calmly, maturely, and went on about her business. Meanwhile, the fans online started losing their minds, like she had just declared war. And that's where the sarcasm kicks in again. Because people keep forgetting these are grown women who actually talk to each other. They don't need Twitter detectives decoding every single word. You can literally hear in Kelsey's tone that she respects Caitlyn's work ethic. She called her a light, a live personality, and said she's always positive, even when things aren't going her way. That's not fake talk. That's someone who's spent a season sharing a locker room with her and sees the effort up close. And honestly, it says a lot that Kelsey appreciates that, because she's the kind of player who is all about discipline. She's been through years of bad coaching, injuries, team changes, and she still shows up every single night. So when she says she respects Caitlyn's energy, that really means something. But you'd think from Twitter's reaction that she threw people heard she talked to the organization and instantly made it sound like she was demanding a trade. No, she was saying she wanted the team to be better prepared. You know, something normal professionals do. Yet somehow, in the WNBA world, being honest about leadership is treated like a scandal. And that's exactly what Kelsey was talking about. Fans take everything so personally. You can't even say, I want the offense to flow better without people assuming you hate your teammate. It's like logic doesn't exist anymore. Even Kelsey said it herself. She doesn't get why in the WNBA, You can't criticize the system without being labeled as disloyal. In every other sport, that's just part of the game. But in this league, the second you tell the truth, you're jealous. And let's not forget, both Kelsey and Caitlyn want to play together. They've said it repeatedly. But the internet doesn't care. They'd rather stir up fake tension, because that gets more clicks. In reality, Kelsey's comments actually showed how much she values Caitlyn. She literally said, "Caitlyn's game complements hers when Caitlyn chooses to play that way." That's not a dig, that's facts. Because there are two versions of Kelsey Mitchell, the ISO scorer and the off-ball sniper. When she's playing off the ball, she is dead. She can literally lead the league in scoring if the system just gives her room to operate. And that's what she's saying. Give Caitlyn the ball, let her create. And Kelsey will absolutely torch defenses from outside. But if you try to make Kelsey run the offense, it slows everything down. That's on the coach, not the players. And Kelsey knows that. She's not dumb. Her instincts might push her into tough shots sometimes. But that's fixable. That's something coaching can guide, not blame. That's why she deserves credit. She's self-aware. She knows her strengths and weaknesses. And when you have two players like her and Caitlyn, both ultra-competitive but humble enough to adjust, you can build something truly amazing. But again, it comes down to leadership. Something the Fever have been seriously lacking since, well, forever. The fact that Kelsey said the organization wasn't ready for Caitlyn just proves that the problems start from the very top. They had months to prepare for the biggest rookie arrival in years, and still acted clueless. That's not on Caitlyn. That's not on Kelsey. That's on poor planning. And Kelsey speaking up about it, that's leadership, not conflict. Now let's get one thing straight. Kelsey Mitchell didn't hop on Sue Bird's podcast to start drama. But you know how it goes. The internet hears one thoughtful comment, and suddenly they're acting like Kelsey brought a flamethrower to Caitlin Clark's locker. People just love chaos more than they love actual basketball IQ. So Kelsey talks about adjustments, and instantly folks turn it into, "Oh, she's blaming Kate." No, calm down. She's literally saying the Fever's organization had months to get ready for Clark, and still looked like they were reading the script 5 minutes before curtain call. That's not throwing shade. That's just fact. The Fever knew they were drafting the most talked about player in women's sports, and somehow didn't plan for her arrival. No locker room structure, no clear roles, just vibes and hashtag. And Kelsey, being a seasoned pro, was probably thinking, you know, maybe we should have talked about how to actually play around the person ESPN won't stop showing. But here's where Kelsey's words actually hit home. She said Caitlyn never acted bigger than the program. That's not just respect. That's rare in modern sports. Because when you bring in a player with Clark's spotlight, it usually gets messy. Yet Kelsey said, nope, Caitlyn handled it like a grown-up. No diva stuff, no power trips, just ball. Of course, some people still found a way to twist it. You'd think they were allergic to common sense. They heard adjustment period and went, oh no, she's jealous. Like please, this is the same Kelsey Mitchell who was dropping buckets before Caitlyn even showed up. She doesn't need to be jealous. She's already proven she can cook any defense she faces. Now Sue Bird, being the legend she is, asked Kelsey specifically about leadership. And that's where it got really real. Kelsey said, people overlook her leadership because social media runs on narratives, not actual basketball logic. And she's absolutely right. The internet decides who the leader is based on likes, not actual locker room impact. You can score 25 a night, mentor teammates, and still get less attention than a rookie holding a Gatorade bottle. She also mentioned talking directly to the Fever organization about those early struggles. That's not complaining. That's accountability. Kelsey didn't say, trade me. She said, we should have handled things better. Big difference. And then she gave Caitlyn credit for being passionate, even when she was injured. That's huge. Because remember, Caitlyn wasn't even 100% this season. She was out there limping through games while social media was busy turning every missed shot into a scandal. But Kelsey, she saw effort, not excuses. Now tell me, how often do you actually see that kind of honesty between teammates in the WNBA? Or anywhere, really? Usually it's all PR talk. We love each other, we're building chemistry. Next question. But Kelsey actually talked about the process, the awkwardness, the growing pains, and how it all made sense eventually. That's genuinely rare. Here's the funny part. After the interview, fans acted like Kelsey just signed her transfer paper. No, she literally said she likes playing with Caitlyn. She respects her game. She even said Caitlyn's energy keeps the team alive. But of course, some WNBA Twitter detectives decided, it meant she was sending signals. Yeah, signals of maturity, mate. And look, basketball-wise, the fit isn't always perfect. We all know that. Caitlin needs the ball a lot, and Kelsey thrives when she's free to shoot. It's like two alpha guards trying to share one remote control. But guess what? When it works, it really works. There were games where they looked absolutely unstoppable, like defenders had to pick which one to suffer against. So Kelsey wasn't lashing out. She was explaining. She was saying, "Give us time. We're figuring this out. And if you can't handle two top players needing rhythm, maybe basketball just isn't your sport." Because at the end of the day, Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell want to win together. They respect each other. And when that finally clicks under a real system, not the chaos Steph White's been running, the Fever are gonna make a lot of loud mouths go quiet.